This should have been recorded a lot sooner than this. Nexomon. Oh boy, Nexomon. Now, I'm going to be covering it. I said so. Point break. Wow, what am I even saying? What I am saying is, yes, I'm covering both in one go because I don't have enough to say about either Nexomon One or Nexomon Extinction, the sequel, to really warrant splitting them up. That's actually why you're just going to get the thumbnail I used for both Nexomon 1 and Extinction for the streams. But I really don't have a lot to say about this one. There were a couple of interesting ideas here, but I talked about in the video I just recorded, which was Advanced Wars, I talked about how I liked the Saturday morning cartoon vibe of Advanced Wars. Nexomon 1 specifically, because Extinction did improve this a little bit. If Advanced Wars is a good Saturday morning cartoon, then in Nexomon is what the lore runner and a lot of other people call a bad Saturday morning cartoon. Because see, here's the thing. I mean, Advanced Wars was lighthearted, fluffy. Yeah, we're gonna go beat the bad guys, and and nobody really batted an eye. I well, except for Olaf. Olaf batted an eye at Colin being a young CO, but nobody batted an eye at Andy being a young CO. A young commanding officer, because that was kind of the tone that they were going for. And even then, Colin was just kind of able to hold his own against against Lash of the Black Hole Army. So, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say that no, I don't think that Advanced Wars is trying to make a statement about child soldiers. It's less a statement about child soldiers and more children playing at war, if that makes any sense. In other words, it's the little playing with the army men in the sandbox. The little plastic toys. These little plastic figurines. That's what that is. You're playing with your toys on the playground. That's what the Advanced Wars is. Nexomon, and by comparison, Nexomon by comparison feels like a corporate sleazebag tried to write a giant toy commercial for kids and tried to inject a little bit of a story into it. The problem was that they didn't know how to write. They weren't very good at writing, and Nexomon 1 was a disastrous sack of garbage by comparison. I don't even know who wrote it, and I'm not looking it up right now. That is probably the lore runner going live. It is I might watch later. Anywho, but the point I'm bringing the reason why I bring this up is I I don't like this story, and the gameplay wasn't much better. It wasn't any better. Nexomon 1 just sucked across the board. It came dangerously close to Rantview territory. It came to the point where Compass literally, sat there and it literally was like, no more! And I was like, but the sequel was paid for, so of course I'm going to look at the sequel. And good thing I did too, because well, you know how I was bitching a couple of weeks back about Unicorn Overlord, but I said, hey, I would love a sequel to this that improves upon the original? Here's your example. Nexomon Extinction is fantastic compared to the first one. I think Nexomon Extinction scored like what? Plus this 58 on the or no, sorry, plus 48 on the gameplay, and I think the gameplay was like net negative like 20 something on Nexomon 1. Think about that for a second. That's like a 60-point difference. That's insane. I mean, and you know what's funny? The one who funded the run for Nexomon is Nexosparkle, my one of my consistent viewers, and she agrees. She was like, "Oh, Nexomon 1 is just blah," and then Nexomon Extinction was where it was at, and I agree. Nexomon Extinction is just fun. Nexomon 1 felt way too basic and just blah. Nexomon Extinction actually has move pool. It actually has move pools. It actually has uh, you actually have reasons to capture, multiple Nexomon, and there's more variety. Nexomon Extinction feels like an honest to god, a decent Pokemon game, and I like that. I didn't mention this at the beginning, but I'm okay with clones, right? I am honestly okay with clones as long as they're, good, you know. Although I will say I don't like the narration in the first game. And there's some story beats in the sequel that I could get into, but honestly, I said my piece on the stream, so there's really no reason to rehash it. I will say I do like it. I do like a lot of elements. A lot of elements of Extinction, but the problem is Extinction's story is no better, and that's actually one of the reasons why I'm just kind of skipping over and just talking about the gameplay itself. The story is just but the gameplay of Extinction is, in my opinion, where it's at. I think one of the biggest problems I had with Nexomon Extinction was it was repetitive, it was grindy, and it just didn't work. Whereas Nexomon Extinction felt like I actually had some, ability to customize my characters, form a party that I enjoyed. And honestly, there were some really fun and really powerful, potent to use, who's uh potent and ready, good to use ones. Never mind the fact that you literally have a new game plus that is effectively a giant customize the game to your heart's content mode. They literally call it custom mode, and it is amazing. Like the amount of things you can freaking customize with that is insane. It's awesome. But yeah, excuse me. But yeah, now you're probably thinking, well, what made the first one so bad? Well, apparently Nexomon originally was a mobile game, believe it or not. And oh god, does the first one feel like a mobile game. Oof. The second one, not so much. The second one actually feels like it was crafted. But honestly, I don't really have much else to say. I mean, I could talk about the story, I could talk about Omicron and his legacy and all that shit. But again, like I said it all on the stream. I said it all on the stream. Like, what else can I really say about all of this? I mean, don't get me wrong. I actually like some of the elements. Like the elements in the first game didn't really mean anything. The types, the Nexomon types, didn't really mean much in the first game. But in the sequel, there is actual strategy because they've actually, they basically went full tilt with copying Pokemon, which is good. And I don't even want to discuss Pal World. Let's leave Pal World at the door. Or because I don't care. I don't. I don't. The whole Pal World thing, because some people said, "Oh, Pal World does better than Pokemon." Eh. you know? Like, I have actually had people who have played Scarlet and Violet tell me, oh yeah, it's not that great, but it's not the worst ever kind of thing. And I stay. That's why I stay out of that kind of shit. All I do is I just sit here and I make up my own mind because I don't care about sitting here and just screwing this up. I don't care to get into freaking pissing contests about graphical bugs or any of that shit. Okay, unless it's like game breaking bugs. Okay, graphical weirdness I can let slide and just be like, unless it's like really distracting. And to be honest with you, I just don't care. You know, and that's the thing that kind of the way this ties into Nexomon 1 specifically is I stopped caring about it after a while. I got fatigued by it. Definitely by the first one, but by the time I was done with the sequel, yeah, I was just done to be. I just wanted to be done with the franchise. So if you're gonna play these games, all I'm gonna suggest is you play Nexomon Extinction. You can ignore the first one; it really doesn't matter. It is interesting that the post game of Nexomon 1 does actually tie into the events of Nexomon and Extinction, but at the same time, I just no. Nexomon is an interesting idea, and apparently there's going to be a third one, so we'll see how that all shakes up. But to be honest with you, I'm just rambling to try and extend the length of this thing because I got nothing. I have got absolutely nothing for this one. Nexomon is not a game I'm going to be jumping back to anytime soon. I just will not be. I won't be playing it. I won't do it. But regardless, I I don't know. I look at this and I go, I just don't care about Nexomon all that much. It's an interesting concept, and having something that is that has and having something that's that kind of varies up the Pokemon formula is actually a good thing. The problem is it just doesn't work, Eric, in this case. It's not a game I'm going to be jumping back to, and only Nexomon Extinction was worth my goddamn time. Nexomon 1 was just garbage, you know? But regardless, I suppose that's going to do it for this one. Another short one, but like I said, I don't have much to say about these ones, you know? They're just there. What do I say? I said all my piece on stream. Go view the stream. But like I said, that's going to do it for me. So, Nexomon Extinction. Nexomon and Nexomon Extinction. Next week, well, actually, now I got to think about it. What is next week from your perspective? Because I got to think. Do I have anything else that I need to do before we jump into trails? I don't think so. I don't think I need to do that. Huh. I thought I had more to record, but I guess I don't. I mean, I do have one more thing I need to record, but I'm going to do that when I'm a lot better because holy crap. I've got time for that, At this point, now that I've finished this one, I just have to edit edit like this Advanced Wars and the other thing, and then I'm done. And then and then I can move on to editing the trails one. So from your perspective, next week we finally start talking about trails with a video I recorded last fucking year. Here, good lord. Because next week, from your perspective, if I'm not mistaken, is Trails from Zero. Finally. Which is funny because that's actually going to include a rant view that I did this year. Hilariously enough. Oi. Anyways, that's going to do it for me. He Blue Wolf Alex the Lore Walker signing out. Have a good one. I don't recommend Nexomon Extinction, but it's definitely not the worst thing ever. Ever. Just stay away from Nexomon 1. You don't gotta play Nexomon 1. Later.